छोटे से घर में अग्निवीर शहीद हुआ, लैंडमाइन ब्लास्ट में शहीद हुआ। मैं उसे शहीद कह रहा हूं, मगर हिंदुस्तान की सरकार उसे शहीद नहीं कहती। उस घर को पेंशन नहीं मिलेगी, उस घर को कॉम्पनसेशन नहीं मिलेगी। अग्निवीर यूज एंड थ्रो मजदूर है।
गलत बयानी करके सदन को गुमराह करने की कोशिश।
गलत नहीं है सर, गलत नहीं है सर।
दौरान अथवा सीमाओं की सुरक्षा के दौरान यदि हमारा कोई अग्निवीर का जवान शहीद होता है तो उसके 1 करोड़ रुपए की धनराशि सहायता के रूप में उसके परिवार को मुहैया कराई जाती है।
There's also some sort of doubts about the kind of training these soldiers get and the kind of compensation.
The traditional recruiting areas of the Army, Navy or the Air Force have not taken well to this scheme because the Army or the Navy and the Air Force have been a great source of employment and a regular employment where you used to retire with a pension. Now there is no pension in an Agniveer scheme.
Is it a claim or is it a compensation? What is it?
Family is not denying that they have not got money. They have got money as close to 1 crore, but they are saying that this is the insurance money. This has got nothing to do with the government.
The Agniveer scheme found itself in the middle of another major controversy when at the Lok Sabha on July 3rd, Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, accused Defense Minister Rajnath Singh of lying about the compensation under the scheme. I have with me Aman Singh, who covers defense for us, to talk more about this whole controversy and what exactly is the Agniveer scheme. Break it down for us. Manaman, firstly, if you could tell us what are the salient features of the Agniveer scheme?
Well, the Agniveer is the term of the soldiers who are recruited under the scheme called Agnipath. So basically, it is an Agnipath scheme in which the recruits who join it are called Agniveers. So now this is a separate class of soldiers than the regular soldiers in the army. And the concept is that an Agniveer is recruited for 4 years service. And in the 4th year of his service, it will be determined whether he is good enough and fit enough to be inducted as a regular soldier. The present premise on which the Agnipath scheme works is that 75% of those who have been recruited under the Agnipath scheme or the Agniveers, they will be phased out of the army, and 25% of those who are supposed to be the cream of who have been recruited will be retained in the army and they will be taken in as regular soldiers. This will happen only after they complete 4 years of service in the army as Agniveers. So therefore, this is a completely different category of soldiers in the army as opposed to the regular soldiers. And the debate which has been going on within the army by the veterans as well as all others who dabble in military and strategic affairs is that this is not a sufficiently good system, and that the retention of Agniveers should be to a larger percentage, and at least 50% of them should be retained instead of 25%, which is at present. So there is, apart from this, there is also a difference of their salary, their emoluments, their entitlements, etc., which are very apart from what a regular soldier gets.
I understand there's also some sort of doubts about the kind of training these soldiers get and the kind of compensation. If you could tell us more.
That's true.
Yeah.
The training has been truncated, and the training period has been largely truncated for these Agniveers, and they are therefore given lesser training than what was being given to a regular soldier earlier. That also is a bone of contention, and that it is being opined by many that a longer training period is needed. But the present system says that they undergo a particular training period in the training centers, and then they go further training. Undergo further training in the units, in the battalions and regiments which they join. The compensation issue, which is under discussion right now and which is the focus of debate, is another issue because the compensations and the benefits which the Agniveer gets or his next of kin gets in case of death or an Agniveer gets in case of a disability are widely different from what a regular soldier gets. So therefore, there is a package of one-time payment which is given to an Agniveer in case of death or disability, with no further liability to the government or the army. Whereas in a regular soldier's case, his next of kin get a wide variety of benefits, which include medical benefits for the next of kin, the canteen facility, the CST canteen facility for the next of kin, etc., etc. Here in Agniveer's case, there is a lump sum which is paid to the next of kin in case of death, which is attributable to military service. And then that's it. There is no pension for the parents or the widow of an Agniveer. There are no medical benefits for the parents or widow of an Agniveer. There are or his children in that case. Therefore, this is again a big topic of debate.
Also, the compensation is according to your position in the army, is it? Like, is it? Yeah.
Compensation, of course, varies for officers and jawans and the JCOs, the junior commissioned officers. But here in Agniveers, it is a single bracket under which all Agniveers are included. So therefore, for
what is that lump sum amount generally for everyone?
Now that lump sum amount comes to around 1 crore in case of death of an Agniveer in action or in battle, or he's a battle casualty, or death due to attributable to military service. It comes around to around 1 crore, which includes insurance amounts of about 50 lakhs, which he's getting from the bank, where he's an account holder, and therefore, by virtue of being an account holder, he gets a personal accidental death insurance. There is another 48 lakhs insurance, which comes from the group insurance scheme. And then there is an ex gratia amount, which is given by the army and the government. And there are the terminal benefits of whatever balance pay and salary and allowances were left. So all in all, it works out to be little more than 1 crore. It comes around to be around 1.5 or 1.65 crores, out of which the actual compensation is 1 crore.
We'll come to this particular case that Rahul Gandhi mentions in the parliament of, Agniveer Ajay Kumar, who was a 23-year-old martyr. But before that, the opposition has demanded the rollback of Agniveer scheme for the reasons that you have mentioned above. But you, Manaman, interact with a lot of people, defense people. What is the sentiment amongst them about this scheme? I know there can't be a consensus, but if you could give me some sort of an idea.
So what is being discussed is that first of all, what was the need for this scheme to be introduced? And secondly, if a decision has been taken to introduce it by the government, how can it be utilized in the best possible way? Now, the reason which is widely being discussed for introducing this scheme is that the pension bill of the army has been increasing at an ever-increasing rate in the recent years, and that, it takes away a huge chunk of the defense budget. And therefore, there is a need to cut it down and therefore to look at alternate systems of recruitment. The naysayers say that, like the Americans say that what ain't broke, you don't repair, or don't make good, that you don't need to tinker with it. And that the previous system of recruitment and taking in the recruits was perfectly fine. There was no need to tinker with it. However, the government, having made this decision, now the discussion veers around that the 75% wastage of Agniveers and retention of only 25% is not working out, and that you need to have longer duration of soldier in the army for at least 7 or 8 years. So this duration of retention this duration of service period of Agniveer should be increased, and their retention should also be increased from 25% to at least 50%, because there are many regiments and there are many services in the army or in the Navy and the Air Force where technical knowledge is needed, where you need to have a technical grasp. For example, if you are working on missiles, if you're working on artillery guns, if you're working on communication systems, if you're working on repair of equipment, you need technical knowledge, and that for that technical knowledge and skill to be earned, it takes more than 4 years. So here what is happening is that by the time an Agniveer would be barely capable of carrying out his duties in a technical area, he would be phased out of service. So secondly, there is also a problem of intake. The youth from the traditional recruiting areas of the Army, Navy, or the Air Force have not taken well to this scheme, because the Army or the Navy and the Air Force have been a great source of employment and a regular employment where you used to retire with a pension. Now, there is no pension in an Agniveer scheme. You just go home with a lump sum. So after you've completed your 4-year service, you will go back home with around a few 11 lakhs or 12 lakhs. Offhand, I don't remember the exact figure. You'll go home with that, and there'll be no pension, no medical benefits, no nothing. So this has not gone down well, and the recruitment has also suffered. From what I have heard by talking to officers who are in the know, the kind of material which is coming forward to get recruited under the Agniveer scheme is not good enough, and there are reportedly shortfalls. So all in all, there is a need, people say that there is a need to relook at the system. And if it cannot be done away with, if the government feels that no, they have to continue with the present system, then some amendments have to be made to make it more lucrative for the youth to join. And secondly, also to help the defense services maintain their manpower potential.
Okay, now moving on to this particular case of Agniveer Ajay, who was at the center of controversy in Parliament, that is the martyred soldier. Now, Rahul Gandhi claimed that his family hasn't received the promised compensation. Rajnath Singh came out and said that he has. And the Indian Express reporter who spoke to the family of Ajay, Martyr Ajay, said that they have not received any compensation. They have received insurance money. So if you could, give us an idea about, they claim that they got 50 lakh in insurance. Apparently they've got rupees 98 lakh from insurance cover claim, of which 48 lakh is from the army, which is insurance cover, not ex gratia. Another 50 lakh has been received from a private bank, which is also an insurance policy claim. So if you could break that up for us and give us a clear idea about what is it a claim or is it a compensation? What is it?
So what Rahul Gandhi mentioned during the Lok Sabha speech was one, that there is a disparity in what an Agniveer gets, or the next of kin of an Agniveer who dies in service gets, and a regular soldier. And he also mentioned the word compensation, that there is a difference in compensation, or that they get no compensation, and the status of martyr. And this was contradicted by the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh there and then in Lok Sabha, who said that they get all the honors that a soldier who dies in battle or dies in service gets, and that an amount of rupees 1 crore is given to them as compensation. So, so now the debate is revolving around what kind of money this family has got. So the family has clarified that it has got 50 lakhs from the bank where he was holding an account as an insurance for personal accidental death insurance to an account holder. And there was 48 lakhs which came from the group insurance scheme of the army. The group insurance scheme of the army is also, it has got nothing to do with the government. The AGIF, the Army Group Insurance Fund, which is providing this amount, is a society. It is not it has no official entity as such. And the ex gratia amount which is given by the army to a Agniveer who dies under such circumstances, that has not yet been received. And his last pay and the allowances which were balanced, which he, for the balance of the service, which also his family is entitled to, that is also yet to be received. So the debate is now on whether they got anything at all, and if they have got, what is the breakdown of that. So so the family is not denying that they have not got money. They have got money as close to 1 crore, but they are saying that this is the insurance money. This has got nothing to do with the government, and what the government was supposed to pay us, it has not yet paid.
Just for clarity, who kind of arranges for this insurance for Agniveers? Is it the government, or do they have to give the premium amounts themselves? If you could give us.
There is the amount which is given in the group insurance, the 48 lakhs, for example. The Agniveers do not pay any premium. A regular soldier who gets such a insurance and who gets paid for it, or his family gets paid from it, does pay a premium. All Jawans and regular Jawans and officers do pay a premium. However, Agniveers do not pay any premium, and that premium is paid for by the AGI by its own. So the other insurance policy under which from the bank, I think this Agniveer Ajay had an account in ICICI Bank. That is an insurance policy which any account holder has who has an account in that bank.
That is his personal insurance money, right? That has nothing to do with.
Yeah. But there's a clarification because Ami says that there is a MOU with the financial institution regarding this. So that also needs to be clarified, that whether that MOU is RB specific, whether that money or anybody else. Normally, as you and I know, that if we have a credit card, for example, there is a personal accidental insurance which comes automatically with it. If we have a debit card or we have a bank account, there is an accidental insurance which comes free with it. You don't have to pay any premium for it. So this has to be clarified.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for us, Maniman.